What's up, guys?
What's up?
Yuko's room.
Right.
Okay.
So today's second, third episode, depending on what the first one was.
We're going to talk about how we became bilingual.
Bilingual. So the main aim of this series is us two or someone else in my shoes speaking English. So TCK Workshop teachers, some are bilingual, some are just from English, but we want to kind of express
Ourselves in English.
So your background is mainly in Japan, but
yes.
You were in America for 3 years and then you came to Japanese school, and then you had most of your communication was in
Japanese.
Is that with your parents?
Japanese.
Siblings?
Japanese.
Friends?
Japanese. I always had at least like 5 friends that I can speak in both Japanese and in English, which is really nice. So we would talk about like anything on Disney Channel or like the books that we read, Magic Tree House or Harry Potter, whatever. And then after that I had more friends who could speak English and Japanese both in high school. So then my English became stronger during high school and after that, because in university I was in an English speaking program. Yes.
So up until then, your opportunities to speak English were mainly in those English classes and your friends.
Yes.
But mainly it was Japanese.
Mainly it was Japanese.
Okay. That's kind of similar to me, because my communication methods were mainly Japanese to my parents, friends who were Japanese, and I did go to a Saturday Hoshuko.
Oh, on top of the everyday like.
It was like 3 hours in the morning.
Oh really? Just 3 hours?
Just 3 hours, yeah. We only did kokugo.
Oh, only kokugo.
So that was my only kind of places to speak Japanese. Other than that, it was I had more English friends, so English there. Classes were obviously English. I did go to another football club school, and that was English as well. So kind of similar to.
Right. So do you think you studied Japanese before? Like, for example, reading like Japanese language class, like books or textbooks, and writing.
I did that in Hoshuko.
Oh,
so,
right.
Because I did kokugo, we generally just use like the kyokasho. So
Up until what age did you go to Hoshuko?
I went from 小学1年生 until 高校2年生.
Oh, I feel like that's pretty rare to have like high school classes, right? Because most Hoshukos end around middle school.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like. Wait, we have to check that.
That's true. Fact
check. Okay.
No, but we had up until Chugaku, there was like 3 places in London that did up to Chugaku, and then the London Japanese school.
Oh.
They were the only building that could do high school, so everyone from those 3 places kind of
Went
merged.
there.
So technically one school for high school, but yeah.
Right. But like after high school, how did you study? Because you went to a university in London, right? So that means like no English whatsoever, just...
If anything, I spoke more Japanese there, because at Hoshuko, the students were mainly people like me. So people who grew up in the UK longer, so their English was stronger, which meant in Hoshuko, the lessons would be Japanese, but the communication between friends would end up being English. So we got told off quite, especially our year, got told off quite a lot.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, they did have like a kind of amokuno rule.
Yeah.
You have to talk in Japanese whilst you're in Hoshuko, but no one really listened to that. So. But when I went to university, because there were so many ryugakse who came from Japan.
Oh, in your like school, like within your school or the community you were in? What?
London universities tend to have a lot of.
Right.
It's popular, I guess. So, in comparison to like the regional universities, you get way more Japanese students per school. So there'd be like this massive Japanese kind of community in London.
So that's where you would use your Japanese to communicate and
Kind of,
use your Japanese.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
What about you? Did you have like a? I would assume there would be like an international
Yes.
community there.
Yes. Now that I think about it, I think I was in a similar situation in the case that I took both English classes and Japanese classes. And then for my English program, of course, I would have international students studying with us. And then I would make friends through them. And also I lived in an international students dorm as an RA. So there I would make more friends. So now that I think about it, I think I used more and more English throughout, like after high school. Yeah. Oh.
Did you actually like properly study English though? Like from grammar, vocab? You said you did Eiken and TOEFL, right? But did you like, kind of like study for?
I guess it's kind of weird. I can't really say because I always try to avoid studying vocabulary and grammar. It was just like not my thing, and I kept avoiding it. I really didn't like it. But in university, I had to write essays, which I didn't know how to write, even in Japanese, because I never took like shoronbun classes. So I came to a point where I had to understand grammar and vocabulary. So I don't think I studied it like all the jukenseis do, like tangocho and all that, but more so like reading a lot, writing a lot, and through those like constant reading and writing practices, I think my English skills like developed, I guess. But yeah, I can't really say if I studied it because I feel like it came to me naturally. No, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging because I'm not. It's just I think I'm really bad at learning or studying methodically.
I would say there are like two kind of learnings. You can learn like through a textbook.
Yeah.
You will understand all the basic building blocks of the language.
Definitely better, I would say.
Yeah.
But
and then be able to use it. Or like I learned Japanese. I did go to Hoshuko, but I didn't really take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because I also had rugby matches. I was in the rugby school team as well. So I didn't actually go to Hoshuko for like half the year.
Busy.
Yeah, so I didn't do much of the homework. I didn't practice the kanji.
Right.
There was one time where my teacher kind of got annoyed because I didn't do any of the homework. So they said, at least write half a page for a sakubun. And then I wrote 3 lines. I was like, I'm done with this.
Sounds familiar.
She gave me like a very, when the teacher like, she gave me that.
Just a sigh, just like
a big sigh. So yeah,
disappointment.
So yeah, I did go to Hoshuko, but I didn't really study properly.
Right.
It kind of all came naturally.
Right. I don't know. It's like immerse yourself in that space and just force yourself to understand it.
Exactly. So when I probably developed my Japanese the most when I went to university.
Okay,
because
same
I
goes
spoke
for me.
so much Japanese.
Yeah, I also spoke I also did a lot of translating, like English and Japanese, because so in international dorm, there's students who are speaking or studying Japanese, right? And then there are other students who are taking English courses in Japan, so they don't know much Japanese.
Okay.
And then so there would be Japanese-speaking international students and then English-speaking international students.
Right.
And then to form a bridge. Like, I don't know how to say.
Okay.
Like so that we could all socialize. I would go from like, okay, she said that, and then it just like.
Is that within like a friend group or like?
Yeah.
So within the dorms.
Yeah, within the dorm, like we would become friends, and like, of course, like everyone can speak a bit of English, but the level like really varies depending on the person. And then Japanese, there were less people who can speak Japanese, so it was more like, okay, let's speak like English as much as we can, but within the people who are studying Japanese, it would be in Japanese. But when we're all together, it's like going back and forth. Yeah, that was fun times.
I also learned Japanese through watching TV, anime,
Definitely. Yeah.
manga.
Yeah, me too. Reading books, listening to music. Actually, some of the songs have like really difficult lyrics, especially if you don't understand like the poetic.
The Japanese ones.
No, in English.
Oh, yeah,
English
yeah.
one. For you, is it in Japanese?
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's very vague. It just doesn't make sense sometimes. So I would like read the lyrics and be like, what does this mean? Like, I don't know how this word is used here, and then try to figure it out.
I would look at like the analysis.
Yeah,
on
those
websites.
help. Yeah.
Like this lyric meant this. It has kind of this background for this artist.
I think the most difficult like songs or music would be rap, because it's like wordplay. And then if you don't understand the context behind the words or the context behind the rappers or singers, it's just like, what is this?
That as well. I feel like people who are good at both languages, there's like people who understand the grammar, all that kind of stuff. But I think the ultimate, like the kyukyoku part is if they understand English comedy, English music. If they understand that, I feel like you have accomplished life in terms of language.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm still working on it, because like sometimes I'm just like, I can't laugh at a joke. Everyone's laughing, and I'm like, it's kind of humiliating and embarrassing.
Is that because of language or just like your sense of humor?
Maybe my sense of humor, but I do think there's like a language like aspect to it, because sometimes I'll be like, I guess it's funny. Like I can understand, but and then I would go on about my day, forget about it. I don't know. Depends.
Do you watch like English comedy?
Oh, yeah.
Stand up?
Yeah, stand-up comedy sometimes, like on TikTok, just like comes up and
Snippets.
Yeah, snippets of this stand-up comedy shows. I do watch like English drama series. Do you call it that? And when I was in high school, I couldn't understand what they were saying because of the accent.
What would you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What were you watching?
So I was watching Dairy Girls. It's Irish, I think.
Okay, no, that's difficult.
Yeah. So it was really, and the way they phrase certain things. So they're using slangs,
right?
Especially like in the 80s or something, because the setting is different. So the time, the era of when that show is like set in, and then the slangs that the teenagers are using, and then they speak so fast. I can't even catch up with the subtitles. I couldn't understand. But you just watch it and hope the way you're making sense of it is correct.
I feel that's another accomplishment if you understand the accent
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I don't think I can. So I have several friends from England, and they all come from like different parts of England. Some girls are like from London, and then some girls are from like Wales, so that's not England. And sometimes I can't understand, like I can't pick up what they say, so I'm like, sorry, can you repeat that?
What's the most difficult accent you've come across?
I actually think Australian accents are sometimes hard to understand. especially if they speak really fast. But I think I watch a lot more English like movies in the British accent more. So recently I've been able to pick up on like what's being said. Can you pick up on like other, or do you understand other accents?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel
my school was very diverse, I feel.
A university or
My secondary school.
Grammar school.
Grammar school. You had like the typical British people, but there was quite a lot of like Middle East, Asians, Indians, Pakistani. So it was really, really diverse.
So
the teachers as well were from like all over the place.
Right, so different accents.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess I got used to it after university when when I met different international students, and there were girls with like French accent, and then there were girls with like Singlish, like Singaporean English, and just like different accents. I think it's really fun to be able to communicate in the same language, but with like different tonality or like difference. I don't know. When I was little, I used to be like really obsessed with like trying to capture the sound and trying to sound native, whatever that means.
Okay.
But like now I'm just like, whatever. If you can understand what you're saying, what others are saying.
Do you still find the American accent the easiest to pick up?
Yeah, but sometimes like Southern accents or like New York, something, I don't know what it's called. But
Where were you in America?
I was in Florida. I don't think we have like a specific accent. Maybe there is, but I don't think so. But yeah, because I grew up in, or like, I feel like 4 to 7 is such a like important stage in your life where you like absorb everything. And that I was in America at that time, so I do think it comes natural to me. But yeah.
If you were to give advice to someone who wants to be native.
What about you?
I would say listen. Listen and repeat would be the best.
Listen and repeat, totally. Yeah.
So it wasn't really a good thing, but we did imitate each other's accents. So
yeah, as kids, yeah, it's fun.
I was told when I was in years 5 or 6, my teacher said you do have a British accent for that age, which I was very happy with, considering I look like this. So
yeah.
But then when you go to secondary school, there's so many other accents.
I see.
Yeah, we tried to imitate each other's accent, but that was possible because of so many accents being heard.
Right.
And I'm trying to imitate how they're saying it, like the way they use their voice, the tongues, and all that kind of stuff. So I do think listening to like actual speeches, watching movies is probably one of the best ways.
I agree.
And I do think going into an environment where you can actually use that.
Yes, totally.
Obviously, understanding the basic building blocks. If you're like
Start
a zero
from
starter, if you're a zero starter, then I think that is one where you need to start with. Then,
Yeah.
if you want to kind of improve that communication aspect, that's probably a better way, which we hope this will be doing. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right. And what about you?
Listen and repeat. And also, I think I actually have this where I structure my sentence, the English sentences in a Japanese way. So sometimes like the way I phrase things would sound Japanese, but just because like we're talking, I don't think like people would like notice or care. But when I write it down, I'm like, oh, this is so Japanese. This is like the structure is so Japanese. But I guess don't be afraid to make mistakes. Yeah. There was one time when I was in elementary school, and there was a girl who lived in like New York for 10 years. Her English is like perfect, right? Very good. Better than her Japanese. And we were speaking to each other in English. And then I said something that just like was like grammatically incorrect. Or like it was a word that didn't exist. For example, when you say eat in the past tense, it's ate, right? But I think it was like eated. I said something like that, along the lines of that. And then she was like, that's not right. And I was so embarrassed. I was like,
Do you know what they call the grammar police?
oh yeah, the
People who always just like go, that's not grammatically correct.
The you are and the your and like your and you are your and the apostrophe. Yeah, no, I think that's actually really important. But grammar police. Yeah, just make mistakes, but don't be ashamed of them. Everyone makes mistakes.
No, like people who are comfortable speaking English, like even when you go to university or like beyond that.
Yeah.
No one's like perfect with their grammar.
Yeah, no.
So I think
It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as it makes sense to the other person and you can communicate. So try talking more. Don't be afraid.
Next week we'll have someone else because British accent's getting very tiring. So
Really?
we'll get someone else on
Yeah, we'll find
who
another.
you can talk to
Okay,
in English.
thank you.
Alright, cool. We'll see you next time.